Trying to hook up outside your marriage? Propose a threesome. These celebs aren't here for your rigid, monogamous relationship rules, and one's even comfortable enough to let mom and grandma in on the action. Shailene Woodley has been open about her alternative lifestyle, love for nature, and her love life. In an interview with the New York Times in 2020, The Fault in Our Stars actor admitted to once being in an open relationship, saying, "I'm someone who has experienced both an open relationship and a deeply monogamous relationship in my life. But there has to be a level of responsibility in any relationship dynamic, and that responsibility is simply honesty and communication and trust." There's no word on which of her previous relationships were open. From 2017 to 2020, Woodley dated rugby player Ben Volavola. In February 2021, after dating for less than a year, it was announced that the actor was engaged to NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers. However, the pair split in early 2022. Comedian Margaret Cho was in an open marriage for 11 years. In 2003, the Drop-Dead Diva star married artist Al Ridenour after dating for several years. That same year, she told Bond that her relationship was, quote, very conventional and conservative. However, she forgot to mention that she and Ridenour were allowed to have different partners during their union.
We got together because we just couldn't, we both have like this side. I just don't want to have sex with the same person my whole life. That's gross.
Cho went on to add that she's even cooked for the women Ridenour has brought home. A year later, when appearing on Oprah Where Are They Now?, Cho explained that she and her husband had made the decision to have an open relationship as soon as they began their romance because it suited them. However, Cho filed for divorce from Ridenour in 2015. In 2015, Brody Jenner revealed to GQ that he and his then-girlfriend, Kaitlynn Carter, were open to inviting other people into their bedroom, saying, "We're not opposed to having somebody else join in on our sexcapades." When the conversation was brought up, Kaitlynn said, "I actually don't mind at all."
She thinks you guys are like in this polyamorous relationship.
But that's none of her business, we like what we like.
With that not-so-clarifying answer, Carter pretty much confirmed that the couple did engage with other partners, but not without the other being present. As Carter explained further on the show, "Everything with me and Brody is under my control, let's put it that way." The couple ended up splitting in 2019 after about a 6-year relationship, and despite the pair tying the knot in Indonesia a year prior, they never legalized their marriage in the United States, which meant they were technically never officially husband and wife. In a 2021 episode of Red Table Talk, Willow Smith revealed that she lives a polyamorous lifestyle, explaining to her mother, Jada Pinkett Smith, and grandmother, Adrienne Banfield Norris, "With polyamory, I feel like the main foundation is the freedom to be able to create a relationship style that works for you."
So I was like, how can I structure the way that I approach relationships with that in mind?
Yeah.
In addition to explaining why she chose to become polyamorous, Willow defended the practice after her grandmother stated that the lifestyle only revolved around sex, arguing that she has the least amount of sex in her friend group, despite the fact that she is the only one who is polyamorous. During their conversation, Jada was supportive of her daughter's choices, noting her understanding while emphasizing the importance of clarifying your relationship intentions to yourself and everyone else involved. In an interview with Vanity Fair in October 2022, singer Lizzo called her boyfriend, comedian, and actor Mike Wright the love of her life. However, that didn't mean the Truth Hurts singer believed in spending the rest of her life with just one person. In fact, she explained how she wasn't a fan of monogamy on the radio show The Breakfast Club that July, despite having a lot of love for her partner.
I think a traditional, relationship scares me for 10 years, but love is forever.
Lizzo and Wright worked together on MTV's Wonderland series in 2016 and ignited dating rumors in March 2021. Her romance with the comedian became Instagram official in February 2023 when the two walked the red carpet for Clive Davis's pre-Grammys gala and shared a few since-deleted highlights of that day on the social media platform. Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore's 15-year age gap definitely caused a stir when they started dating in 2003. They tied the knot in 2005 but called it quits in 2011, following several cheating accusations on Kutcher's part. Years later, Moore seemingly proved all these rumors to be true. In fact, rumors spread that the couple had an open marriage, but that didn't seem to be entirely the case. In her memoir, Inside Out, Moore revealed that she agreed to have threesomes, but it backfired, writing, "I put him first, so when he expressed his fantasy of bringing a third person into our bed, I didn't say no. I wanted to show him how great and fun I could be." However, Kutcher allegedly used it against her when it came to his reported infidelities, with more going on to write. Because we had brought a third party into our relationship, Ashton said that blurred the lines and to some extent justified what he'd done. The couple's divorce was finalized in 2013. In May 2020, R&B singer Kehlani spoke with the Breakfast Club radio show, where they revealed that they had an open relationship with rapper YG. Kehlani admitted that although they and the rapper, who was seen kissing another woman at a nightclub, allowed one another to see other people, there was a breaking point for the Beautiful Lies singer that ended their very brief romance.
I low-key am saying shit can go down as long as everything's communicated and everyone's adult, because I know how this life is.
When asked to define an open relationship, Kehlani expressed that no two open relationships look the same, with couples having to decide what they feel is crossing the line and what is deemed appropriate, stating, "I think it's whatever boundaries you guys set with each other." Despite having such openness with YG, Kehlani told the host that they weren't interested in anyone while the two were an item. Drew Barrymore dated actor Luke Wilson from 1996 to 1998. The pair even starred as love interests in the late 90s films Home Fries and Best Men. After their split, Wilson spoke highly of Barrymore's professionalism when they both starred in the 2000 film Charlie's Angels, telling people, "That's Drew. She didn't let the personal stuff get in the way." And though their romance was over many years ago, Barrymore brought up their brief relationship on her talk show, The Drew Barrymore Show, in 2022.
I think he was also dating other people. Yeah, totally. It was an open relationship. We were young.
Famed drag queen RuPaul has kept much of his relationship with his husband, George LeBar, under the radar. However, one thing that RuPaul did disclose is that they allowed it to be an open relationship. Sharing his thoughts on the subject with Vanity Fair in 2019, RuPaul stated, "I wouldn't want to put restraints on the person I love the most on this planet. Listen, if you get something happening that you cannot resist and that is going to make you happy, go for it." An open relationship between RuPaul and LeBar meant that the duo had enormous trust for one another. Having been together for nearly 3 decades, RuPaul shed light on why their open arrangement ended up working when he told The Guardian in 2018, "He is respectful of me. He would never turn it into something that would make me feel uncomfortable, and I wouldn't do that to him either." RuPaul and LeBar began dating in 1994 after meeting at the Limelight Club in New York City. They finally decided to make it official by tying the knot in 2017. William Daniels and Bonnie Bartlett have been married since 1951 and are credited with having one of Hollywood's longest marriages. However, their union had its fair share of bumps in the road. In an interview with Fox News Digital in January 2023, Bartlett revealed that the stars were in an open marriage for quite a few years.
I guess it was a little bit of an open marriage at first, but that was very painful. It didn't work well.
Bartlett went on to share that at that time in New York, it seemed that many others lived that way in their lives and relationships. In her memoir, Middle of the Rainbow, Bartlett recalled that both she and the Boy Meets World actor engaged in extramarital affairs in the early stages of their marriage, with Bartlett writing, "I never felt guilty because I was never tied to fidelity, and neither was Bill." Bartlett admitted to being involved in a months-long affair in 1959, but learning about her husband's affair in the 70s with a producer had her wanting to end their open marriage. The pair eventually worked on their relationship and celebrated 72 years together in June 2023. On May 4, 2022, Frankie Grande married Hale Leon in a Star Wars-themed wedding. However, the older brother of superstar Ariana Grande wasn't always into a monogamous relationship. In 2018, Frankie proclaimed that he was in a relationship with 2 men who were married to each other. Speaking with Access Hollywood, he shared that he was involved in a throuple with a doctor and a lawyer, adding, "I was very open to the possibilities of what does love look like, what could love be, it just happened." Frankie also noted that he was not in an open relationship despite being with 2 other people. Now married, Frankie told Page 6 that his involvement with 2 other men helped him realize he was always, quote, "just a one-man man."